Hello, hello, good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, can you type hello in the chat? Yeah, type hello in the chat. So, in case you just see me looking at the side, right, I'm actually looking at the chat itself. Yeah, so welcome, the rest of you who have just entered the room. Yeah, can you share with me where you're from? You're from Singapore or any part of the world? Can you type where you are from in the chat? All right, hello. I see Andy from Singapore, Chiping from Singapore, Chijen from Singapore as well. Yep. Oh, many of you from Singapore. Yep. Anyone outside of Singapore? Yep, keep on typing, Yeah. So anyway, welcome and also congratulations on coming into this haunted room. This special webinar Halloween edition tonight. Yeah. So anyway, tonight's our session is a very special edition. So definitely there will be a special bonus gift that will be given at the end of this session. So this bonus gift, right, I want to tell all of you is something that has never given out before in next level. Yeah, so actually how many of you want the gift? Can you type me in the chat? How many of you want this special gift? Type me in the chat. All right, if you want, right, all right, make sure you stay all the way to the end, and I will tell you how you can redeem this gift. Yeah. So if you want this, make sure the first thing that you can do now is make sure that you're already in our newly revamped Telegram group. Yeah. So can my team maybe send the Telegram group link in the chat? So just in case you click in, make sure that you are in to receive the gift at the end of the session. Yeah, right. So yeah, my team have already sent. So make sure you are in the Telegram group. Yeah. So yes. So once again, hello everybody. Welcome. My name is Joyce. So as you know, tonight's is actually a Halloween edition, and actually my team has decided that I shall be the one to hold this session because I've been hearing so many investing horror stories. And actually, in fact, right, we found some very interesting, never hear before horror stories on Reddit itself. So what's going to happen tonight is I am going to read and share these stories and also have our two special guests to react on it and also share on their thoughts. Yeah, so in the meanwhile, if you yourself, right, you have actually experienced any scary moments or you know of someone else who actually has a scary moment during in their investing journey, right, do share it with us in the chat box as well. All right. So yes, so as mentioned, today we have two guests. Yeah, anyone can guess who they are. I'm sure you already know already, right? Yeah, so actually they are our two very seasoned investing mentors who have taught thousands of students of different ages and background. Yeah, so without further ado, let's type in CCC and welcome our next level Options Academy mentor Beyond and also our CEO Bowen as well. Let's welcome them, CCC. Yep.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
Can you
Hello,
spot them?
hello.
Yeah, hello,
Okay.
hi Beyond, hi Bowen, or hi Scary Bowen. Yeah. Hey, so y'all know, right, Bowen and Beyond, y'all know that today's topic we are gonna talk about horror stories. But to start things off, right, before we go on to the stories that we picked up, is there any like scary investing horror stories that y'all heard before or you yourself encountered before?
Okay, maybe
Okay.
Beyond, you wanna go first?
Okay, I share first lah. So this is actually a personal investing horror story, guys. So it actually was when I first started investing. And when you first started investing, more of the companies you learn of are like Apple, Google, Amazon. But being new and being like a fresh blind into investing, right? I wanted to go and find companies that no one talk about. Right. How many of you felt this way before? Like, hey, I want to look at companies that no one thought about, right? So that when it succeed, I will feel damn good. How many of you got this kind of a thought before? Just type me in the chat. Because that was exactly like me, what they call that the hidden gems, right? And I've actually found some of them. And one of them, right, was this very small alcohol company all the way on the west coast side of the United States. A few friends and I actually stumbled upon it. It was super underrated and very niche. And what they do, just to give you guys a bit of background, right, they actually sell like what they call spirits, which are whiskey, vodka, all those very specialized ones, not those Johnny Walker and all, but it was very niche stuff that around the region, right? A lot of people were drinking and they had amazing reviews. And the numbers, right? The financial numbers looked like they were just about to turn around. And you know what did me and my friends think? We thought that, hey, this could be our 10x opportunity. So what did we do? We did a lot of research. We did dive into their annual reports, their quarterly earnings. And even, right, you know, when companies report their earnings and in Asia it's actually like 4 a.m., right? We woke up to listen to the earnings call and we even dialed in to call and answer and ask questions to the CEO, right? So that's what we actually do. So a lot of deep dive, a lot of conviction doing them. And even after that, right, we actually had a lot of private calls with the CEO. And we kept telling ourselves, hey, we got to build conviction, right? And even after we invested, we had an initial position, right? Guess what we did? We actually took it to the next level, okay? Pun intended, lah, right? We actually flew all the way to the United States. What did we do there? We went there to meet the management team, talk to all the top investors there, even had dinner with them, and we went on a full factory tour. Right? Everything looks so real, looks so promising. All the employees were like, hey guys, we are very excited about the prospects of our company. You know, we're going to get this new machine, we're going to go into canning, and we're going to get a lot of revenue. So we were so convinced, you know, and I personally, I doubled down and invested more. But then things started to change, guys. Over the next few months, all the stuff they promised, right, just didn't happen. Right? They kept delaying updates, they keep painting this very amazing picture. And then each time when they paint a picture, we told ourselves that never mind, it's okay, let's just wait for the next quarter. And when the next quarter came, the results came in, it was bad. It was really, really bad. And end of the day, I end up losing 90% of what I put inside. So that was a horror story, you know, until today, right? It's scary to me, like it makes my hair stand, okay? So why am I sharing this story, right? Is in the relation to investing is that you cannot fall in love with the company. Right? Once you fall in love with the company, right, you'll stop seeing things very clearly, right? Because I had so much biasness, you know, meet the CEO and keep thinking like he's the one, right? Because I wanted it to work, right? Now, I always use this horror story to remind myself, right? Conviction is good, but blind faith, that is like super dangerous. So that is my horror story. Bo, what about yours?
Now he's gone. Then he will come back again.
Yeah, don't worry, man. Yeah, scary Halloween is like that. All right, so I think for my story, I just want to keep it short. As long as you all can hear me, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to talk about my $200,000 experience, or rather horror experience. Okay. That happened, I think, back in 2021. Okay, that was the period of Wall Street Bet. Guys, if you have heard of Wall Street Bet, can you just help me to type in WSB inside the chat? Type WSB for Wall Street Bet. All right, can you share with me what are some of the companies that actually flew like crazy during that period? What are some of the companies? What are some of the other than, you know, yeah, there's quite a few companies that actually like went up like crazy. Yes, GME. Other than that, okay, let's see if anybody actually went into the same company as me. Okay, everybody only know GME. AMC, okay, AMC. But it's not GME, it's not AMC. It's actually this company called Nokia. Okay, of course, some people have, you know, a scary story about Nokia. Okay, when they thought that Nokia is going to be a very strong smartphone company, but no. Okay, in short, okay, I actually went in during the, you know, GameStop period, the Wall Street Bet period, where everything was flying. So I went 5 figures, right? I was like, wow, okay lah. I saw that a lot of people are also talking about Nokia, you know, it's going to be the next one that's going to fly. All right, so I put in about 5 figure, and guess what? When I actually opened the account at night, my account was up to 100K. All right, so that was a crazy moment, you know, but of course, some of you asking, not scary, right? But how come you make 200K where got scary, okay? So I thought that the next day I'm going to make more. So I went to sleep. Then the morning I wake up, my 200K is gone. Okay, yeah, everything goes back down. So y'all can go and look at the chart. Y'all will see one super big hammer, okay? Or rather, maybe you don't even see the hammer, you just see one straight line. Okay, yeah, so that was the period. It went up like crazy, and within the same night, everything came crashing down. So 200K gone just like that. Okay, so lesson learned, always take profit.
You must be going to the bed very happy, and then the next day you want to cry already, right?
Yeah, at first my face was green, then after that it became red.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for sharing Scary Bone and also Scary Beyond. Yeah, I think we have a fair share of our own scary moment as well. And in fact, we are not the only one. So yeah, so I do have a few stories on hand that we actually saw it on Reddit. So guys, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna read out to the both of you. Yeah, and then just be your natural self. If you feel very shocked, then you just show that you're very shocked. You feel like crying, you also cry for them as well. Yeah, but most importantly, also share with us what we can learn from them as well lah. Yeah, so let's get into the very first story. Yeah. So actually, in fact, for this one, right, I think how many of you actually, you often read like news, and then from different, you say that you want to invest in this because of different sources. You type W in the chat. Yeah. So actually, in fact, we saw this story. The husband, right? The husband actually wanted to invest in this stock called WCT. Yep. And then because why? Because the sources says that it will do well. Yeah. And it's also but then the problem is that there is a new company that doesn't have any data that you can actually research on. So as a good husband, so the wife say, buy, then just buy law. Yeah, follow the wife law. So in fact, the stock, right, as you can read over here, they actually invested a total of 100K, and then it flew all the way up from $5 to $9. It's a good news, right? Yes, it is. So they're very happy. However, a few weeks later, the stocks actually dipped all the way to $3. So a recap, from $5 to $9 and then to $3. And then then she said, dear, I think we need to DCA, average down on our investment a bit. So what she did was she bought more at $3, which is additional 20K more of capital. Yeah. And then after what happened was that a few months later, right, it dropped all the way down to $1. So then they asked, Jialat, how should we hold? No choice, then we hold lor. So in fact, 3 months later, right, 3 months later, it rose all the way up to $3. And then they think that, hey, it's going to recover. Let's pray for the best. But in fact, right, when they asked their friend, right, then the friend actually advised, hey, better close now, take what you can. If drop more, then all be gone. Yeah, but then she say, my husband should scold one, later quarrel again. So never mind lah. But in fact, right, the next thing that happened was actually it went down all the way to 30 cents, not even $1. So in fact, a total of 120K was almost worthless. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, so guys, when you hear this
Pain,
story, right, what do you all think? Like
painful
from
lesson, but I think quite a common story.
oh, actually from your experience, right, what do you think is the biggest red flag that you see?
I think okay, maybe I share first. I think the moment the stock went up so fast, okay, typically you do not want to chase. Okay, and what goes up fast will go down even faster. So when it goes down, is either you have to take the losses or yeah, you have to take the losses lah. There's no other way lah. Yeah, but people will hope lah. And I think in this case, right, the 3-letter word kill a lot, which is dollar cost averaging. Okay, yeah, you dollar cost in a good company is great lah, but in a company like this, when it's dropping and you want to actually make back your losses faster, you go and buy more. And then after that, the losses become so huge, you don't want to cut loss, you continue to hold on, hoping you recover, and it never recover. And again, you can see that this story happened many, many times now. Okay, but of course, in this case, hearsay, a lot of hearsay. Yeah, a bit similar to my story, except my story is 1 day drop. This one is a week, so this one better than mine.
Yeah, for me, I can share first. I think the biggest red flag is when, okay, not to discredit the husband, but when husband says sources says that it will do well. I think that is the key thing, because who are the sources? And also, I mean, this is actually from crypto, right? This WCT. So and I don't know how many of you are in crypto. Are you guys actually also dabble in crypto one? How many of you actually like have some investment in crypto? Just type me in the chat. I'll be honest with yourself. I also have some investment in crypto, and I've been in crypto for about 4 years. So what I'm going to share next might actually help you. So if you're also investing in crypto, just type me, okay? So what I'm going to share is that in crypto, right, about 90% of the things that you see are rug pull. Despite whatever things that you hear or you see, whatever sources are telling you that it is the next big thing. Right. The fact of the matter is that is how the space has been 4 years ago. And today it is how the space has been, just that you don't actually see upfront. So you want to be very, very careful, especially in crypto, when people sell you the promises that, oh, this can 10x over time. Always want to make sure that you start with those that everyone is very stable one that everyone knows about. So like Bitcoin, Ethereum, I do think that those two are still the ones. But like for other smaller ones, if you are looking to invest in them, I think it's very important to understand the tech behind. And like what Bowen say, right, is what goes up very fast will come down very fast. And it's very, very evident in crypto that that will happen. So make sure that you always set layers of take profit zone and never become greedy. So that is what I saw in this biggest red flag.
Yeah, I saw that Glenn Lee actually say because they didn't sign up next level course, that's the problem. Hey, so you guys are very lucky that you're here in this inner circle. So make sure if you are not in our Telegram, make sure you are in because usually we will share on some market insight and some insider access, and that's why you are here today. Yeah. So I mean I hear from Bowen and also beyond this is something that is not unfamiliar to you guys, right? So actually, what do you think? Why so many investors have fallen into this trap? Like they always hope that it will recover or this is their chance. They are always hoping something will happen. Why do you think they feel this way?
I think it's human psychology lah. Basically, we just use let's say if you drive right, then you go to a parking lot right. If you are trying to look for a lot lah, you wait very long lah. The moment you want, sometimes you want to change, you want to like, just move around to another spot to wait right. But you'll be like, I already wait so long already. Yeah, then you continue to wait. Then after that, you saw other parking lot, all the car driving, or then you're like, wow, I think I should go. But the more you want to go, you'll be like, wow, but I already wait so long already. So again, the longer you hold on to it, the harder it is for you to get out. All right, and I think in this case is the husband make the decision. I think yeah lah, the wife also actually did the correct thing lah. I mean, since the husband want to do, then must see whose money lah. If the husband money, then it's okay lah. If it's the wife money and the husband lose, then maybe it's a different story.
But the husband later lesser money, they cannot buy more things later, the wife. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that why people fall in this trap is basically number one is sunk cost bias. You know, like when you have already put in your time, put in your money into this company, right? When you have already it's very hard for you to take out your money and want to sell because you've already invested so much time and money inside. But sunk cost bias, right, also then leads on to human psychology of you wanting the husband or the wife wanting to be right. Okay, so I think this is something common that everyone will face, right? They want to feel like they will never make a mistake in whatever they invest in. They want to feel like that they will be right. So instead of selling when they are in a loss, right? People don't want to admit that they are losing. They want to be right and they want to feel like they are winning. That's why instead of that, they just hold and they hope that things will turn better so that if it eventually turns better, they can tell people that, hey, look, we were right. We actually held it until the end. So, but I think very important for everyone to know, guys, especially if you have experienced this or even at positions like this before, right? You just want to ask yourself this one simple question: do you want to be right, or do you want to be rich? Okay, ask yourself this question, right? I'd rather be rich. I don't need to be right. I just want to be rich, right? And sometimes, right, we are just humans, right? That it's okay to make a wrong decision. But what's worse than a wrong decision is continue letting it fester to become something that you cannot even get any more money back. Might as well, if you know that it's not good, take out your money and put into somewhere where you know that your money can grow better eventually. So that is why I think many people fall into this trap.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I just add on one more thing lah, because I think you mentioned about like husband and wife investing together. I think it's also important, right, that they have a third party or something that allow them to agree to a certain decision. For example, if they decided to hold, both must agree to hold. Imagine one decided to hold, one decided to sell. So after they sell, the price shoot up. Then the one who say, hey, I already told you to hold, then is going to blame the other party. Or if let's say you decided to hold and then the other one say want to sell and you hold on to it and the price drops significantly, then you'll be like blaming. So again, investing is supposed to bring better life to your family. Okay, but in this case, if there is any misalignment, then you realize that it might actually create a major so-called issues moving forward.
Yep. So that's why usually when I, talk to a husband and wife, right, I will always ask them, are you using your own money to invest yourself? And then you go and learn. So make sure no matter what, who is investing, right? Some one of them must be skillful lah, and must actually have a proper education in the areas that they're going to invest in. Yeah. So I hear that one very key thing from you guys is actually this word called hope. Yeah, hope is never a strategy. Yeah. So thanks for sharing. Yeah. So actually, I want to share the next story, right? Just now Bowen talked about the Wall Street bet, and I saw somebody actually type in this stock called GameStop. Yeah, so I want to share the next story with you. In fact, right, this person Soba Woon, actually she mentioned that he or she mentioned that got caught up in the whole GameStop hype early in 2021 because of the with the whole COVID the COVID meme stock craze, and everyone online was talking about it. So a bit FOMO, then went to jump in. At first very exciting, but the stock actually tanked very hard. So end up he or she actually lost almost 80% of the whole portfolio. And then then one thing that she mentioned, or he or she mentioned, that he or she actually learned it the hard way. Don't follow random tip online, no matter how much hype there are. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. So Bowen and Beyond, are you aware of this whole GameStop hype during that period? How was it like?
Yeah, I can share. So yes, I was aware, and the whole reason why GameStop actually pumped, right, was because of this concept called short squeeze, right? And it was something that was very, very technical. I think not many people know of it, but the whole idea was that there were some people that were shorting the stock. That means they were betting the stock to go down. So, and at that point, right, GameStop was, they are a brick and mortar business, and they were being replaced by companies like PlayStation, like Nintendo, who were all selling their games online, whereas GameStop is just still selling those kind of like hard copy games in stores. So they were facing a lot of trouble. But what happened was that because of them being in that state, right, it was being shared in Reddit pages. Reddit is like a social forum, lah, right? And there's a lot of people. And then everyone said, hey guys, there are some short sellers in GameStop. Let us get them out, right? And then it kind of created a movement where it pumped up everyone started to buy and follow this movement, right? And then it started to pump up the whole GameStop to not just 80%, over like 200, 300, 400% at a point in time, right? So, but the pump up, right, was never due to the fundamentals of the business. It was none of it. And the media thought about it because he has pumped. It was not because of the fundamental. And yeah, unfortunately, some people, I think because they didn't have any guidance, they didn't know what actually was happening. And probably beside your friend just said, go and buy, and people lost money there, right? So that was what happened during that. It was quite a big thing. And I know a lot of other people that also lost money as well.
Yep. Bowen, any thoughts about this?
Yeah, I think this GameStop actually taught us one very important lesson. When you invest in the company, right, always look at the name. The name already say GameStop already, then you still invest. So obviously the game has stopped. Okay, anyway, jokes aside. Yeah, I think the thing is, did I experience before? I think yes, okay, I already experienced it through the same period, which is Nokia, right? But I also wanted to share that it doesn't just happen like during that period of time. In fact, very recently, there's also a company called Beyond Meat. Okay, not the Beyond that you see over here. Okay, yeah, this is the scary Beyond. Okay, but it's basically the Beyond Meat. I think within a few days, it went up like 400%. Yeah, so this happened all the time. And of course, there are people who make money from that. And typically, why people chase after, right, is because those people that make money, they show their returns. And after that, it'll be like, wow, imagine if I see the product, I say like, wow, imagine I also can make this kind of money. Then you start to go in. And by the time you go in, it's where that fella is getting out. Yeah, so that's exactly, don't invest in Beyond Meat. Why not make Beyond instead? Yeah, this one, different kind of Beyond Meat. Yeah, but this Beyond is better. Yeah.
Have a higher ROI, definitely.
Higher ROI. So again, I think it happens many times. Sometimes we might not even realize that actually maybe some of the stock that we are looking at or we are investing in belong to this category of, or we call it the hype stock. Yeah, even now a lot of people are investing into the quantum stock. Okay, I'm not saying that they're bad. Not saying that you cannot make money, but if you want to go in, you gotta go in fast and get out fast. Okay, the moment you have too much emotion to it, And when it drop, you continue to hold on to it, then you repeat the same story earlier on. You contribute to the same story as the story number one.
Yeah, I think it's only human. Sometimes we get a bit FOMO, right? Especially such very hype stocks. So then, how do you all advise how we should manage this emotional part?
Okay, I think I can share a little bit lah. I think that one thing is how to separate your emotions, right? Is that the only way is to build conviction in and confidence in a company lah. And you do that by researching, by understanding about the company, and also and knowing that sometimes despite all the promises of fast money, right? That is not actually true, lah, right? Despite what many tell you. So, how you separate the emotion is really kind of like being grounded and telling yourself of why you actually invested in the company and looking at the financials and knowing that the reason you invest in, right, is because the company is fundamentally good, it's performing very well, and instead of just what people are telling and you go inside. I think that is very, very important. And another thing, if of course for those of you who have, is that I think sometimes investing alone is not easy. When I started investing alone, it was very, very hard as well. So when you have people around you that are also investing in the same journey as you, right? I think it's very good, like what Bowen shared earlier, right? Husband and wife to have a third party. I think even you yourself, if you have a group of friends, a community to actually discuss and learn together, to kind of like cross-reference and listen to what they say, that would be amazing. Unless you're telling me the community is the one that tells you that, hey, yeah, let's all in go GameStop, then no lah, that's not the kind of community, right? You want to have a group of people who are grounded, who is able to kind of like teach you to see things the right way, rather than chasing FOMO and end up losing your money. And you'll be surprised that the ones that ask you to chase them and buy, right, when you lose money, they'll be the first one that stop replying you and disappear as well. So that is what I think of how you can actually separate emotional impulse and see things in a more factual way rather than a FOMO way.
Yeah, actually, I really agree there because I mean, I have also my own personal experience. Prior to joining Next Level, right, I always thought that investing has a lot of cons, a lot of problems, a lot of like scams. It's actually very dangerous. But until I joined Next Level, I started to open my account, I started investing, and in fact, right, it is really the environment that keeps us grounded and being very objective. So I mean, as I mentioned, right, as humans, sometimes we do have feelings. We tend to be a bit more FOMO, but it's because of this environment that I'm in, right? Actually, it teach me to be more objective. Don't be so FOMO, don't be so emotional. Yeah, and that helped me to grow my portfolio so much more in the last 1 year lah. So again, our environment and who we talk to is very, very important and crucial. Yeah. So yeah. So I do have another story. I think both Bowen and also Bjorn have met so many of our students before, from different background. There are people who have their financial background as well, but then we also hear that they have actually bad experience lah before, like losing money. So actually this story, right, the story that I want to share that we saw, this person, he mentioned that he is actually an ex-banker, 42 years old. He thought that he is pretty good with money, and he got into options trading during pandemic. And then but he said, right, he was just chasing dopamines and also losses. He thought he was being strategic, but in 2 years, right, he actually lost 88 million rupees. So this amount equates to SGD is about 1 million. So can you imagine, right, yourself losing 1 million in 2 years? Yeah, how many of you, you'll be very affected that, if you lose 1 million, can you type A in the chat? Yeah, if you'll be very upset, losing 1 million in 2 years, can you type A? Yeah, so what happened was that he mentioned small losses actually turned into bigger ones. A few wins actually gave me false confidence, and he kept adding capitals, promising myself I will make it back. Ignoring all the red flags, hiding from family, convinced that I'm just one trade away from fixing it all. And he mentioned that it's not just about the money, it's actually about the guilt, the shame, the mental energy as well. So when he was writing this, he said, I feel like drowning in silence. Everyone talk about the wins, very few talk about their wreckage. And he is actually asking advice. So if let's say, right, guys, if someone were to share with you their story, like this of the story, right? What will you advise this person?
Wow, this is hard, man. Wow, what I would share is that in very simple terms, right? Money can always earn back lah. I think for someone that has went through these big losses, I mean, it's not easy to kind of like accept that you have lost that amount of money lah, especially you have worked so hard to reach that way. But I think me and Bowen, Joyce, we all had our fair share of losing money. But one thing that you must kind of like overcome, right, is that to tell yourself that money can always earn back. And as hard as it sounds, right, is to see these losses, right, and try to pick out the things that the blessing in disguise, even though you lost that money. So what I mean by blessing in disguise, right, is kind of what are the things that you did wrong, which you can learn so that you will not replicate in future. Right. So it can be things like he said he was being strategic by choosing dopamine and losses, right? And kind of like small losses turn into bigger ones. So it's kind of like really understanding what are the things that he was doing that caused him to lose so much money, right? And you gotta pick yourself back up because if you just give up like that, even after losing, right, you will guarantee lose that money and you will not make it back ever again. But if you use this as an experience and you learn from it, there is still that the possibility of you making back that money remains. All you need to do is to make sure that you use that lessons and you get proper guidance and feedback if you can, so that you can go back right on track. So that is what a lot of our students have experienced as well. That having that kind of feedback guidance, will help you to kind of like make back that money, right? It's like getting a counselor in a way for kind of like a simple example lah, right? That you always need this kind of a third person to help you to see things in a different light. So that's the advice that I will give.
Yeah. Hey, Bjorn, I know that you are one of the key mentors, right, in
Mm.
our one of our key program, our flagship program, that we mentor students about on investing. Have realistically, do have you mentored any students from they before meeting you, right? They were losing money and eventually they started to recover and profit. Any real case studies?
Yeah, of course. I think quite a few. I think one of we had this student, she's called Evelyn, right? And actually when she started out, she's actually a personal finance coach. And she when she started out, she was losing a lot of money, I think close to the six digits kind. And also same thing, right? Invested in something stuff, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to react when they were losing money. Should I cut loss? Should I continue to hold and things like that? So, and we kind of guided her, show her to kind of see things in a different way. Like, oh, if you cut right, like what we shared earlier, you take the money, you put in somewhere else, at least you give a chance for that money to gain back. And with full portfolio review, kind of like assessing her current goals and adjusting the portfolio in a way that suits her comfort level, that suits her current goal. So she doesn't have to worry about money every single night about how investments are doing. I think that's very important. A lot of us, we keep thinking about how to make money, but we totally forget about the fact that we need to protect our downside. So that's what we did. And I think that was about a year back. And a year later, Evelyn she's doing amazing. She made back her money. And she's be able to sleep well at night. She doesn't have to worry about portfolio anymore. And this year market did very well for her, and she's reaping all the rewards because she acknowledged it earlier, and we help her to kind of change it and get on the right path. That's just one. We have many stories, but Evelyn one is the one that came to my mind first.
Okay, okay. Hey guys, how many of you, right, you have ever lost money from the market before? How many of you? If you have lost money before, can you type L in the chat? Yeah, if you have lost money from investing, can you type L in the chat? Yeah, you can also share your experience by typing in the chat like what was your greatest, what was the most memorable loss or experience that you had. Yeah, but just know that I want to tell all of you, right, who actually type L in the chat, that don't give up. There's that just make sure that you take like advice from our mentors, and of course as what just now we said, the most important thing is to meet Beyond. Yeah, and I think under Beyond's guidance, right, Evelyn managed to turn around her whole portfolio within 1 year. So yeah, Evelyn, if you are hearing this, congratulations. Yeah. Yep. So but what anything else that you want to share based on this? Like if you were to meet this person, right, how would you encourage this person to pick himself up again?
I think first of all, if I can get to see this person, means that this person still got chance. Okay, because typically people who lose money, sometimes they will keep it to themselves. They will not let anybody know. They will just so-called give up on trading or investing. I mean, for those of you who kind of can relate to me, right? Maybe you can type in me in the chat. Okay, then you lost a lot of money and you feel like giving up, right? Yeah. So if this person can get to see us, it means that he is willing to actually seek help. You know, he needs somebody to actually guide him back onto the correct path, lah. Right? But of course, if you look at this particular profile, right, typically we also normally more scared lah, that people who are more smart lah, or rather they have like finance background, or they are good at what they are doing. You know, sometimes they might not be the best student because whatever advice we give them, they might feel that like for example, they hold on to a losing position. Then we say, hey, just sell off your position and buy a new one. Then they'll be like, oh, what if later on it recover? How? So if you have so many what if, and yet you still want to make money, then then sometimes it's very difficult for us to also guide them, you know, back on the correct path. Right. In terms of the mindset, we say that, you know, it's not difficult to help somebody to make money, but it's hard to change a person mindset, especially if they are letting their ego actually control their investment decision. Then of course that is probably, you know, what we are trying our best to help to adjust, which is the mindset. Yeah, the strategy part actually is the much easier portion.
Yeah. I think talking about strategy, right? I often hear people say that you can just DCA, continue DCA, if you don't have enough capital, you just DCA, things like that. And actually, in fact, one of the somebody actually wrote in, right, regarding DCA itself. Yeah, so he or she mentioned that he was one of them who never tried to time the market and was telling other people to stay away from average, just DCA. Yeah, so and then in fact, he mentioned that he's very convinced about the Bitcoin is actually here to stay. He don't need anyone else to convince about Bitcoin, and anything left out of my monthly salary will go to investing in Bitcoin. However, in the last 1 to 2 years, my monthly expenses rose significantly, and I was upset not being able to buy as much Bitcoin as I could in the past, and thus, this person actually it led to the idea that he can make it up for that period use in one or two leverage trades. But it went all downhill from there. And one night he actually lost everything. Yeah, it sounds like just now, Bowen, you mentioned something. Yeah, and as of today, my total net worth is not far away from my salary I will receive for this month. Everything I got wiped out, and I'm 36 years old already. Yeah, and this person, overall in summary, right, this person felt shame lah, feel that he's letting down his family and relative, won't admit this to anybody, will have to leave this feeling of shame forever. Yeah. So actually, for those who are I think maybe before we talk about your thoughts about this, right? Maybe you can share with everybody who are new to investing. Can you explain briefly what does leverage mean, and actually how can we use leverage?
Okay, so I'll share first lah. So basically, leverage is very common in crypto, but the whole concept is this: that with, let's say, and leverage goes by multiples. Example, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 20 times, 100 times, all kinds of number. But let's just use a 10 times leverage as example. So what does it mean? It means that with $1,000 in your pocket right now, if you have a 10 times leverage, you can buy $10,000 worth of stock. Sounds good, right? We can get upside of $10,000 worth of stock, even just with $1,000. So that was what led people to start to use a lot of leverage, because they will get a lot of upside. But what people fail to realize, and also what most people will only show you online, is when the leverage is making money, right? So when leverage, if you use $1,000, you can buy 10,000 worth of stock, right? When the stock goes up by 2%, your profit will be up by 20%. So you can see that multiple also takes into effect. But when it drops by 2%, your profit will drop by 20%. Okay, and what no one tells you about leverage is that you can actually lose more than the amount that you put inside. So that means if the stock drops by 10%, just 10%, guys, with a 10 times leverage, your $1,000 will go down to zero. Simple as that. Minus 100% because you multiply by 10. So that is the whole idea of how leverage works.
Okay, okay. So from this, right, I gathered it reminds me of this thing that we often hear lah, which is high risk, high return. Yeah. So how do you all decide, right? Is it a worthwhile risk to actually take for the high returns?
Okay, Bowen, you want to share this?
Yep. Okay, I think I can take that. So, I mean, I have a slightly different view in terms of like leverage. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I find that, I mean, what exactly is leverage? Leverage is basically doing less with more. Is it something that is actually quite a good term? It's a good term lah. You know, how can we achieve more with by doing less work, right? But of course, there's also downside lah. So I always say lah, imagine if you buy a real estate in Singapore, you know, does it make more sense to take a loan or don't take a loan? Yeah, obviously, you will make more by taking a loan, right? But what happens if, let's say, somebody actually borrow money, right, to actually purchase the property, and then later he lose the job and he can't even pay the mortgage, and in the end he had to give out the property. That is where you lose money. So again, leverage without the proper financial being done, without the holding power, it can be very scary. Like what Dion mentioned earlier on, if you don't have the correct skill or you over leverage, you don't have any stop loss, then it can be deadly. But if you know how to use leverage to your advantage, like even for myself, I do options. Options is a form of leverage. Think of it that way. All right, today if I go out, I don't walk the stairs, right? I always take the lift or the escalator. That is a form of leverage. In fact, we are leveraging every single day. Yeah, in a certain way lah. All right. So of course, we have to know what is the risk that we are able to take, and also do we have a strategy that allow us to actually do it safely. All right. I think if you can do it safely, it's just like, you know, instead of driving a Toyota, you now have a Ferrari that can take you to your destination a lot faster. All right. Of course, provided you have the skill lah. If you don't have the skill, I give you a Ferrari, you're gonna crash it lah. So same theory over here.
Yeah, just to add on quickly to what Bowen say, agree that leverage. So like what he said, you must have to always set your stop loss. And actually in terms of options, I think that's where the beauty lies, right? Like even myself, I also do options. And even though options is a form of leverage, you are able to understand your maximum downside in whichever option trade that you do. That means from day one, right, when you do the whatever trades that you do, right, I think it's important to also know yourself, even though you are able to understand the idea behind of what is the max loss, and it's very clear and very transparent to you. Because once you know your downside, right, you are able to kind of like protect it and know and do proper portfolio sizing and allocation to it. I think in this particular case, this person, I think he got affected by the recent crypto event where the price just nuked and many people got wiped out, over 20 billion worth of crypto liquidation, and it was because like the liquidation was so fast that they couldn't even set stop loss. So there was a very unfortunate situation. But in options case, right, that will be totally avoided, right? Because first of all, is in the stock market, which is not as volatile as how crypto is. Second of all, you know the max downside whenever you do the trades as well. So that's what I wanted to add on.
Yep. Yeah, leverage is also not a bad thing, like what Melvin they mentioned. Our housing loan is also a leverage. Yeah, I think most importantly is that risk actually comes when we don't know what we are doing. So make sure that we are well educated before we, and we know the right strategies to deploy before we go into what we want to do. Yeah, I think so far the stories has been, losing money is actually the worst thing. But in fact, can you imagine losing the consequence, right, is more than just losing money. So this brings me to the next story, which is quite unfortunate. So as you can see on the title already, right? It mentioned how losing in trading made me lose my family. Yeah. So this person actually started investing or trading with the same dream as many people want freedom for their family, want to have more time for the daughter. And he said he thought that the hardest part about trading would be losing money, blowing account, failing prop firm evaluation, watching stop loss, stop after stop get hunted. Yeah, he thought that was the worst, but in fact it was not. So he went down the whole chain of spiral. He started with passion, staring at charts days and night, all around the clock. And then he convinced himself that this was the grind. In reality, it was obsession. He also, he also did a course as well, he mentioned. And he know that he had a buffer since he kind of like so-called like got lucky with crypto since 2017. So what happened was that he actually spent a lot of time in front of a screen. He wasn't present during dinner, even though even though he's there, but he's not really there. Emotions also took place as well. When there was a raid day, he followed me everywhere. At dinner, there were also arguments, into bed at night as well. There was also isolation because he think that, hey, I can do it myself, I can fix it. Next week I'll be back. And that's what he told his wife and himself as well. And the account actually went red, energy also went red, relationship also. So in the end, he mentioned it was not just about the money, it was him not being present. And eventually the wife left him because he lost himself in trading. Yeah, and the worst thing is that he started trading for his daughter, but in the end he don't get to see his daughter every day. Yeah, and of course, again, he also lost his whole account as well lah. So guys, what do you all think about this when you hear this story?
I think Beyond can go first, because this one I cannot relate. Got no wife, got no daughter.
Yeah, I think this is a bit I'll move more a bit to the personal side lah. I think how I would see is more of like for every one of us lah, right? That oftentimes we have to build and have to do something for our family, right? That we feel like, oh, we needed to support them, we needed to make money for our family. But you always want to think, right, when you are doing that, right, what actually are you giving up in return? Right. Most of the time, as husbands, I can tell everyone that, I face the same issue before last time with my wife. I say that I'm working so hard, right? I'm earning money. How come, what you mean I'm not spending time with you, right? I have to earn money so that in our future can be better. And I'm sure every one of you would have kind of like experienced that before, whether you're male or female. So if you have felt that way before, can you type me in the chat now? I want to know whether am I the only one who felt that way before? Right, that hey, I work so hard, I needed to work, and then in return, what are you giving up on? You're giving up sleep, you're giving up time with your family, giving up time with your kids, right? And it's all for to give them a better future. But more often than not, 5, 10 years down the road, right? When you have really achieved what you want to achieve, right? You realize that when you want to spend time with those people don't want to spend time with you anymore. Right. So unfortunately, I think all of us fall into a similar trap. So it's very important to find that balance lah, right? That we work hard to make money. And also in the case of, let's say, making money, trading or investing, right? That's why it's very important to ask yourself what suits you the best, right? Some people like trading, they like the fast pace, but some people just works better with doing, in a way, investing that helps them to generate consistent returns so they are not emotionally, so they don't have to be glued to the screen. And that's what many of our students enjoy. That's why they also are finding that they have a lot of time now as compared to before to spend time with their families. So you got to find what suits for you. I think that is the most important thing.
Yeah. One common question that I have that I want to ask Beyond, right, is that some people actually ask me, do I need a lot of time to invest? Do I need to like stare at the chart day and night, before the market open, after the market open? Do I actually need or not?
Honestly, you don't need lah, unless you are like me lah. But then most people are you don't need to be like me lah. For me, it's because I enjoy it a lot, right? But if you are just someone that you want to kind of create a side income for yourself and all, I would say at the start when you're learning, just like you're learning anything new, learning how to swim, learning how to ride bicycle, you have to spend a little bit more time to understand how it works. Basically, understand the fundamentals, understand the strategies, and build rapport with the people so that you are able to learn faster. But I think that once you have found your bearing, right, you know what kind of companies and what kind of style suits you best. I think even though you spend literally, and it's true, you can literally just spend 1 hour every single month, or if you're a bit more active, 1 hour every single week, and you can even generate that level of passive income already. And many of our students are already doing that. So you don't actually need to spend a lot of time looking at the charts. That is like the least of your worries.
Yep, and you can sleep better as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So yeah, something the next story I wanted to share a bit more lighter as well, and it's going to touch on a topic that's very hot and popular, especially right now, which talks about the EV stocks. Yeah. So sorry, EV stock lead. Yeah, correct. So actually, in fact, this person, right, initial point 9666 mentioned that during COVID, right, when everyone stuck at home, I think probably like nothing to do lah, then decided to try out on the stock market. And at that point of time, EV stocks were going nuts and Tesla was the hot thing. But as a newbie, he or she found that Tesla too expensive. And then he thought that he was going on Smarter Choice, which is actually NIO, which is also known as a China Tesla as well. So he or she actually bought it at $20, watched it climb to 30, 40, 50, 60. And then the funny thing is that he thought that he was a genius. He thought that it's actually easy money. Then it started dropping. Yeah. But he thought that, hey, retracement are actually healthy, right? So what he did was at $50, he bought more. And then at $40, he buy more. Then $30 it dropped, then he buy more, some more lah. And now it's actually sitting at $6. Yeah, so in total he lost about five figure. And what was the worst thing is that it actually made him quit investing for almost 3 years. Yeah, so actually with the both of you, do you guys actually invest in any of the EV stock? And also, what do you think of this case?
I don't actually invest in EV stock lah. I own a EV, and I'm just kidding. Okay, for those who know lah, I bought a Tesla lah. So I bought my Tesla from the profit I make from my Tesla. So that should be the aim ah. Yeah, luckily I didn't buy new because Singapore never sell new, so I cannot buy a new in Singapore. Okay, but jokes aside, okay, I think in short lah, when we look at this story, right, sometimes as a value investor, right, we will kind of have that mentality that, hey, it's a lousy company, it lose money, I will never invest in this kind of company. But you realize that the trap is not whether this company has got a lot of hype or not. The trap actually comes when the price actually keep going up. Just like new, you can see that when it was 20, it went to 30, went to 40, 50. Suddenly, right, all the analysts, everybody become the expert. Everybody have their own thesis that this is going to be the $200 company. This is going to be the $500 company. I think if you look at the market right now, if you look at all the AI company or AI related company or even quantum company, it's the same story. People have their own thesis that is going up and the share price is pushing higher and higher. So everything makes sense lah. Even some of the, for example, like Palantir. Okay, no offense whether whether you're a Palantir investor or not lah. But again, I can see that now everybody will feel that they are correct because why? Palantir is up. Okay, but in the event if let's say Palantir or any of these AI company or even Nvidia drop 20%, 30%, then how do you feel? You realize that the whole story, everything will change. Yeah, so that is where we need to go back to the fundamental. So I think it's important for us to not just simply catch the hype. When prices goes up, it must match with the valuation. Of course, valuation can be relatively overvalued, okay? But you realize that if you invest into a company that is not even profitable, we don't even talk about overvalue. It's basically, the valuation is at the space.
Yeah.
It's totally out of this world.
So you see this person actually he chose a cheaper stock, right? Which is NIO rather than Tesla. Actually, then how do you decide whether you should go for a cheaper and smaller company if you cannot afford the more expensive one?
Beyond always tell me the more expensive the better. Is it true or not, Beyond?
In some companies lah, I would say generally speaking, as the price is higher is better. You kind of think of it as every company starts from that base lah. Okay, let's assume that all their shares, everything is the same, right? And everyone starts from the same base. As the financials of the company improve, right, the share price will generally improve. So some companies, right, the price is higher. It is generally better, but that's not true for all companies because apart from just looking at the price, you also want to assess their financials, their numbers, as well as all their shares and every single thing, their cash, their debt, to ensure that it actually suits that price that they are. So basically, you're not paying overvalue because a $1,000 company, right, might actually be more cheaper than a company that is at $10 as well, right? And these are the things that we also teach students how to identify, because most people at the start, they'll think that, oh, if I buy $1,000, I'm paying more than $10. So they'll end up buying the $10. But end up the $10 is the worst investment than $1,000 as well. So it's very important to differentiate that point as well.
Yeah. So if you were to meet this person, right, what would be the one thing that you will want to tell this person?
Wow, I'll tell them say
Neil.
that. Wow, this is tough lah. I would say for new this one I think we also probably have a friend like that lah. I think it's important to assess the competitor as well, right? And not just buy just because it sounds cool. I think at the point in time, people look at Neo and Tesla and think that, oh, this company is so cool, they do EV, and then like, wow, I want to be part of that EV revolution. And then people starts buying into Neo. I think there's a lot of other companies like Neo as well. Suddenly, I remember there was this one company at the top of my mind. It was an EV company, but it has already went bankrupt already. I don't know if Bowen knows lah. It was also during the COVID times as well. So don't buy into hype. I think that is the most important advice that I will give.
Oh, very familiar. Is it related to Nikola?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Nikola. That's the company. That's the company.
Yeah, that's the company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, yeah, talking about the share price, I think it's very, very interesting, because why you realize that, right? If just imagine today, if you are the business owner, if you have a very solid business, right? Do you want your share price to be volatile, or do you want it to be stable? If you want it to be stable, to be honest, you want your share price to be high. You do not want to do any share split. Okay, why company do share split and keep the price low, right? So that more investor can go in, more trader can go in. In a way, they want more speculation. Okay, when there's more speculation, sometimes there's also more news. Okay, and all this will help the company. But if your company is already so good, right? To be honest, you don't want too much speculation. You want nobody to disturb you. Okay, for example, like Berkshire Hathaway, you see, you seldom hear it on the news one, unless they buy something, they sell something. You don't really hear like what the volume of Berkshire actually went like crazy, right? Because the share is like a few 100,000. Typically people who buy, they just hold. There's no action one. But for those cheaper stock, wow, you can have huge volume. The price can go up 10% in a day, and then it drop another 5%. So goes back to the same thing. The share price is high. Actually, in a way, it means that the business, to a certain extent, they are definitely more solid. I mean, if you have a great company, or a lousy company, right, with a very high share price, let me know. So far, I don't think I've seen any lousy, like extremely lousy company, but the share price is like 10K, 20K. So far, I have not seen any.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Thanks for sharing. So just make sure when it comes to a hype stock, please be careful. All right. Okay, so to the very last story that we picked up, right? Context, this person is married, also 43 years old, combined income of about 12K with about 300,000 savings. And they also have a HDB mortgage. So basically, this person essentially is asking for an advice. So backstory is he actually lost a big sum a big sum of money to scam, and he has been reading up a lot of like success stories that people at his age, in their 40s, right, has actually retired. So he feel very stressed. How can he also do the same lah? Yeah. So in fact, he wants to start investing now, but he is not sure whether he should bite the bullet and just invest in one lump sum into the stock market. And of course, I mean, a lot of people naturally will go online, right, or onto forums and actually read what people got to say. And the contexts are very different. And he's not sure whether they are joking or serious. But he really wants a more practical financial advice. So now he's actually mentally filled with a loss of regrets of not getting himself educated in the area, and be better at investing in his younger days, get better jobs. And the more he think about this, the more he sink into a depressed state. Yeah, so I want to ask the both of you, if you were to meet this person, what would you say to him?
Bjorn can go first.
Wow. Okay. So I think that I would say that my short answer is yes, you should invest in the stock market, right? Because there's no way to the longer you wait, and actually if you go and see Reddit, and I'm pretty sure many of you have seen, right, there's many people asking this question of like, is it too late to start investing? Is it too late to start investing? To be honest, it's never too late, right? And the short answer is yes, you should. But lump sum in the stock market, I don't think it's a good idea to kind of like show hand and lump sum. But I think very important is always starting with a good base and understanding the fundamentals of the stock market as well, right? If not, you will just be simply be gambling. And if you put your money inside, you won't know what to do with it. You will always be affected emotionally as well. So it's the same as learning how to swim, right? If immediately you don't know how to swim, you join a pool, you will feel scared, you'll feel panicky, you will, worst case, you might actually drown, right? But if you know and you practice risk management at the start, you know how to do it properly, then you wouldn't face that issue anymore, right? So that's why I think it's important to kind of like get grasp your fundamentals right. And that is how a lot of our students, all of them, they were also like about not even 40s, some 50s, some even 60s, they are just started investing. But they decided to do it right, they do it properly, and now they feel they are much more confident. And I think that's very important, right? You kind of like learn the fundamentals so you can get more confident in investing. Then after that, we also teach you about proper portfolio management, proper portfolio sizing. So you don't just lump sum, because that is going to be very, very risky and you will not be able to sleep at night as well.
So sounds like you met people in their 40s, 50s who just started investing, right? Actually, what did they do differently? What did they started doing to help them in their success?
I think first off, it all starts with having the right mindset, because and I think it's not something that if you're wise, you'll figure it out. But a lot of it is through kind of like learning and hearing what people say, because you want to make sure that you learn it the right way and not rush into wanting to make your money back as fast as possible. Because many people come into investing thinking that it is gambling, but actually it's not gambling at all. It is actually putting your money to work and buying great companies and letting them mature. So think of it as you have this a bunch of seeds, right? Which is like your money, right? And you have a choice between putting in different kinds of soil. Some soil is infested with worms. Some soil you can see has direct sun on it. Some soil has is just mediocre so-so, and some soils are magnificent, and you can see other plants growing there as well. So then the question is, how do you identify where to put your money into? Some people might think that, oh, I'm going to put my money into the bad soil and it's going to grow me faster, right? But then the question is, will you be more comfortable putting there, or will you be more comfortable putting your money in, let's say, a much more stable soil that you know will give you consistent returns as well? So I think that is how, even people that are 50s or 60s can even learn how to invest too. It's all about having that right mindset, especially if you are new, having that feedback and guidance to guide you so you can start off on the right foot.
Mm. Yep, yeah. So, yep, Bowen?
Yeah, maybe I can just add on as well. Okay, I think the problem that a lot of people face is they think too much. Sometimes don't need to think too much. Just take action. So for example, just to give you an example, it's like for people who never invested before, right? You ask them to invest in a bank stock, they will feel that, wow, is it scary? Is it risky and all? What if the bank collapse, this and that? Then you ask them, hey, actually, where do you put your money? And then they say, in the bank. Then they say, yeah, what if the bank collapse? Then all your money also gone. Yeah, so I always say that, right? If you are happy, or if you feel that the bank interest is not good enough, right? Instead of putting your money in the bank and the bank give you interest, why not you invest in the bank give you dividend? Actually, it's the same thing. If the bank collapse, right, both will lose money. Yeah, but on the other hand, if everything goes well, which one will make more money? The dividend will make more money. Yeah, but for people who have never invested before, they don't know how to look at company earnings and all that, right? Then they don't know whether is the bank really safe or not. They always feel that like what if the price drop? Because to them, it's just the price. The price drop means I lose money, but you don't see it that way. That's why knowledge is important. That's why we always say that just get started. Whether you learn from the books, you learn from YouTube, you learn online, you find a mentor to guide you. Once you learn, actually you realize that a lot of the dots starts to connect. Then you will start to actually it's like the people always say after they attend Beyond training or what, people always say that I wish that 20 years ago I attended this
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, 20 years ago, you should have just attended. Okay. So it's never too late. Right. So again, I think I put it to my own experience also lah. Like recently, when I wanted to buy an EV, I also don't know whether EV good or not. You know that think, you know, wow, whether this good, this bad. Actually, how to make the decision very simple. Just walk into a showroom and just go and test drive. Because the moment I test drive, right, then that's where I realize I know which car is better, which car suits me more. Then I actually got more data point. So just by thinking about it, actually it doesn't help you one. I think it connects to the property. I see a lot of people say that if property market is going to crash. 10 years ago, they said going to crash. Until now, they don't want to buy. But to me, is that start with something that you're more comfortable. Just put a foot in first. Maybe you can start with HDB first. After you buy a HDB, then you're like, actually not bad. Make money. Then you upgrade to something else. Then you slowly advance, but at least you are moving. Yeah, so I think that is something that I would say I just get started.
Yep. Thanks for sharing, guys. In fact, I think so far in the last 1 hour, right, what I can gather there's a three letter word. As it's not a three letter word, it's actually an acronym called MEE. Yeah, can everyone type MEE in the chat first? Yeah, MEE. Yeah, this MEE is actually a solution to, whatever problems that we are actually listening, we are hearing, or whatever we're experiencing, which is M, which is the right mindset. E, which is the environment, yeah, in the right environment, a conducive environment, and then the last E, right, will be education. So if let's say if you are, if you think that your investing journey so far, right, is not up to what you want, is not up to you haven't reached your goal yet, then the next thing that you should do is always to get educated lah as well, which I'm sure some of you agree, and you also mentioned in the chat earlier on. Yeah, so just make sure to stay tuned in our Telegram, whereby whenever we have session, we will share with you as well regarding any the different asset class also. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's enough of scary stories for today. And I hope that the next time that we are going to have this session again, I won't be reading out your scary story. Yeah. So if you don't want your own scary story, make sure you get yourself educated. Yeah. So yeah, we don't have to spend. In fact, we don't have to spend our own time and money making mistake, but we can learn from our mentors over here. We can learn from other people as well. So thank you, Bowen and Beyond. In fact, you guys are not so scary after all. Thanks for sharing with us such a valuable tips with our community. So guys, let's give CCC to the both of them.
Before you go, I can scare them a bit, Because
How?
I feel that the market is going to crash. Then everybody start panicking. Okay, yeah, but guys, I mean, this is I'm serious right now. Okay, yeah, but I mean, overall, the market is a little bit crazy. It's quite bullish. He has been on the run for a long time. You don't know what crazy stuff Donald Trump is going to do and things like that. So really, really do leverage, lah. Just like I mentioned, leverage. Okay, like for me, I always leverage on Beyond. Whenever I see any company, right, Beyond just now he said that he like to work overtime. He like to keep researching, right? Yeah, then leverage on him. So I leverage on him to do research. Then he leverage on me for some of the chart. Okay, but for myself, very simple. I look at chart very fast one. So I probably spend about 10 minutes to give him what he need. He's probably have to spend like 10 hours to give me what I want. Yeah, but leverage on us because we are every day looking at the market. We know what is going on when things change. You want to be informed. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the market really is a bit crazy, even though I do see that it can go up further. But when everybody start saying that they make money, to be honest, you need to be careful. Okay, so start asking your friend, are they making money or not? If they haven't make money, then still okay. If everybody start making money, then you better be careful.
Okay, thanks, Bowen, for that great tip over there. Beyond any last advice that you want to share before we end?
Yeah, I think that like what Bowen shared, right? That yes, I still do think that the market will go up in the long run. And it's very common when you see everything going up that you will feel like, oh, it will never come down. Right. Everyone will feel that way, and you will feel like you are missing the boat. It's like you want to jump on the train, but the train just keep moving faster and faster, and then sooner or later you just keep forcing yourself to jump on the train, even though you know that it will be hard. I think that's very, very dangerous. In fact, that is how many people actually get burned. This is a true horror story. We've seen this many times before, and actually, back in April, right? I've read a lot of people, they were super bullish, and you just need one news and everyone got wiped out. So you want to always be very careful and prudent and not it sounds like a horror story might never happen, okay? But it can actually happen without you knowing about it. Right, that so be very careful, right? Especially if your portfolio you're doing a lot of risky things. Ask yourself like, is it worth losing your sleep? Is it worth the trade or not? I even have like some people, not students, but people from external telling me and say, oh, what should I do? What should I do? I accidentally did a 1 day trade and I'm losing half my portfolio. Right, these are real horror stories, guys. That if you don't have that proper feedback and guidance, if you're taking a lot of risky stuff, these are the things that you will experience. So we don't want you to face any of that, okay? So, like what Joyce shared, we have a Telegram chat. Do join inside because that is how we ensure that you will never be scared whenever the market or the rate things suddenly attack you in 1 day, okay?
Yep. All right. Thank you, Bjorn. Yeah. So once again, thank you, Bjorn, and also Bowen for today as well, and all the great tip that you have actually shared. And also thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, yes, I haven't forgotten about the gift. Yeah. So the gift that we will be giving you, right, is actually our new investment portfolio tracker 2025 edition. And in fact, this one, right, is actually worth about $197 if you were to purchase it. But because you're here today, we are giving you for free. All right. So it's actually, in fact, it's a tool that you must use while you invest. Yeah. So this is how you can actually redeem your gift in 2 steps. Number one, join the Telegram. Perhaps I can just show you this. All right. Yeah. So firstly, this is actually the gift that we'll be giving you. Yeah, so first of all, join this Telegram. My team has actually sent in the link in the chat, so you can click on it to join this Telegram group. Yeah, so make sure you click in, make sure that you're not in the any other group as well. Yeah, so this is the one that we will be giving you exclusive access to, and you'll be the first person to receive any news from us also. So first of all, join this Telegram group. And then next, all right, you will already see this message in the Telegram group. All you need to do is to like the post and then to comment I won. All right. So once we have hit about 50, at least 50 comments or 50 likes, we will drop the gift to you tonight itself and you can start to use it. All right. So right now, how many of you actually have commented I won in the post, in the Telegram post? Can you type me in the chat? All right. Type me in the chat once you have done it. All right. Okay, got hope can give out the gift today. Yeah. So again, repeat, join the Telegram group. Yeah, my team send in the link again. And then like this post and type I won. And then once we have reached at least 50, and then we will send in the gift to you tonight. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so that's all for today. We'll be having more live sessions. So do look out for the next one in the Telegram group, right? And then stay tuned as well. So that's the end of this tonight's session, and I hope to see more of your success stories that you will share with us very soon. All right, so that's all tonight. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.